morning, good 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 morning to you. I want to welcome you to Creating Hustle, a show where we like to ask people, how did you take your idea, turn that thing into a business? I am your host, Mush King, and you can join me here each and every week right here on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM. I want to say good morning to you. Welcome to a show where we like to ask people, how did you take your idea and turn it into a business? And this week is very special because, there's a lot of times over the years where I have been following people and I have watched their progress and stuff like that. And, you just kind of wonder how they did it and how they achieved those things. So that is exactly what happened with one of my guests today. Today we are talking with the CEO and founder of MusicXclusives. Now, if you are a music fan, specifically R&B, but if you're a music fan, then over time, if you know that MusicXclusives is one of the top blogs to find out music information, and I have watched it from the beginning, and then I've come to become friends with my next guest, and I'm just so proud of everything that he's doing with the website and all the things that he has coming up in the future. So I'm not going to hold you guys too long. Let's slide on into the creative corner and talk to my boy Leo Lysius of MusicXclusives. Check it out. Today we are in the creative corner with Leo Lysius, the CEO and founder of MusicXclusives. Leo, thank you for joining us on Creating Hustle, the show where we like to ask creatives, how did you take your idea and turn it into a business? How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm exhausted coming off of I don't know how many hours of sleep. It was a one hell of a weekend. Last night I was at Summer Jam, Hot 97, yearly major, one of the biggest concerts since 1994. Yeah, it's been like what 30 years now since Summer Jam's been going on. So yeah, I was covering that last night for the platform. The day before that, I can't remember what I was doing, but I know Friday I did Little Baby's Untrap, the story of Little Baby's documentary. At some point over the weekend, I also did this new Crab Queens restaurant launch in Harlem. I can't remember which.
Oh, they opened one up there?
Yeah, they did in Harlem.
Oh,
right
wow.
on 125th. Right on 125th.
That's big.
Train. Yeah, it was dope. Freshie from Atlanta did it. And, Freshie is a big time publicist who works with Saucy Santana, Migos, and a slew of other artists. So I was able to finally meet him in person and connect. I also saw him again last night at Summer Jam because he was with Saucy. But yeah, no, it was I started MusicXclusives. I think I'm answering your question correctly.
Yeah, that was about to be my next. That was my next thing. So, I know, and the thing is, I've seen you do this for a very long time. I think I might have been there like towards the early blogging days because
you might have
point
been.
Everybody was trying to be a blogger at that time. So I remember, all the music sites specifically because there were a few out at the same time, but there were only like maybe two major ones that covered like R&B.
Right.
So, we like to ask people on this show, like how they took their idea and turned it into a business. So tell the people like how MusicXclusives kind of started and like what made you like get into the blogging game at that time? Because it was a huge thing.
Well, the whole idea kind of started like, it was actually accidental. It wasn't really intentional in the beginning because when I started MusicXclusives, it was before I even knew I wanted to get into the media space. I had this whole idea the name during the MySpace days. So I had like, when MySpace was around, it was like right before the crack of the social media era, and people like used to love MySpace. It was almost like I want to say Tumblr before. I don't even know if Tumblrs are good, but like think of like they had, I think before SoundCloud it was SoundClick back then. But then MySpace was kind of like the Facebook before Facebook was really a thing. And it was kind of like you had your personal page and then you had MySpace Music. So like MySpace Music was the space that like I really like kind of like took over. Like, back then you were able to like kind of like play with HTML and like make little cool designs on your pages. So I was very creative in that space. I was getting familiar with like all that coding kind of thing, like at an early point, you know what I'm saying? And I was always like into music. So like when MySpace Music came around, like it was my thing. Like I would upload like a lot of new artists' songs to the platform, and like write about them in the little blog entries that they used to have like on the side portion of the website, and just kind of like putting people on before anyone knew who these artists were, and just to see like over the years, like even during like the soft launch of MusicXclusives in 2010, some of those artists were starting to like take off. Like they had just gotten deals, they were working their situation, getting their feet wet in the game and things like that. Artists like Ro James, then you had Bridget Kelly, it was a slew of them, and
it was a slew of them. Yep.
Yeah, like G Noble before people don't know, like G Noble, who's from Long Island, by the way, was formerly known as Jaden the Cure. And how I met him and how I was introduced to him as an artist was going through Village Underground. I don't know if you remember Village Underground.
Oh, of course.
Back in New York City. On West 4th. Yeah, back in the day. So, even my girl Tiffany Stevenson, who, went on to go by Trey Stella. She sang background for like a variety of artists on tour over the years and things like that. So even Jaden, who had like sung background for like, Chris Brown, I used to always just run into them at Village Underground, and they were like amazing, phenomenal vocalists, and people used to always like give them standing ovations at the Underground. So like, I just was in the circuit, just like, didn't even know that I was like, being like, had A&R ears, but I was just hip to like these amazing talent early on before people even knew who they were. So when I was in my late 20s trying to figure out, all right, what do I want to do? At that time, I was already like dabbling in songwriting. I had tried my hand at management, artist management, that is. I had tried like, obviously marketing and promotions was part of like what I was doing in a sense, but there was this pinnacle point like towards like my mid 20s to late 20s where I was like, what do I want to do? You know what I'm saying? What's going to be like my niche? What are people going to know me for? And then I had the name MusicXclusives, so I said, I'm a strong believer, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I had the name, so I said it's a no-brainer. So let me just start a blog. At the time, and just to piggyback on what you were saying about blogs, then it was Concrete Loop, Angel also Concrete Loop, and it was Nicole Bitchie, which I used to love a lot. I love both websites.
Sure did.
And they were killing the blog.
They were
Black media, like
they were. And Media Takeout at that time was also the shade room version of now.
I was about to say that. So Media Takeout was the shade room then of what shade room is now. So, and then obviously, the more credible sources were, Concrete Loop and Nicole Bitchie, who were very good at, like, they were like really knee deep in the game and were getting like a lot of the brand deals. They were connected to the artists, things of that sort. So, it was kind of like I had the blueprint from them. You know what I'm saying? I followed what they did. I frequented a lot of their sites for like, the news sources and things like that. So I started the platform. They were like, more lifestyle and like more like general news, including music. I was solely just music from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? My niche was like new artists, with also a mix of like, what's pop culture in terms of like who are the bigger artists too. So I always kind of mix that in too, just to give it some kind of like, balance and whatnot. So yeah, all of that started in, the idea started in 2009. By October 2009, I had already went on and purchased the domain, started the whole process. And then between that period and a couple of months leading up to April of 2010, I had already built my team, had found my business partner, who was Nicole Mona then, who I was already like writing songs with previously. So it was kind of like everything kind of connected in a sense, you know what I'm saying? I had already built so many relationships. Yeah, I had already built so many relationships behind the scenes with like songwriters, producers, A&R's, label executives. So I already kind of had like a little bit of the cheating code, what they call now, in terms of like who to reach out to, who to network with. Like when I'm putting this together, what can I get drops from just to get like shout outs from, to like, just to kind of give like the blog some kind of like leverage when we launch. Like we have these people behind us to say, yeah, they this MusicXclusives, they played first. You know what I'm saying? They about to have the exclusives, So by April 30th, we launched, and I had gotten a slew of drops from artists. I did a little mini promo campaign on YouTube with a whole bunch of artists that we were like prepping to interview shortly after the launch. And the rest is history, as they say. 12 years later, and I'm like one of the, I guess, prominent, not even, I don't like to call it blog. I feel like blog is something that you start and then eventually become like an entertainment site.
Yeah.
So, and I got an amazing team now and still pushing. Like it's been a whirlwind. It's been a hell of a journey. There's been many times I worked over the years. You know how it goes.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
We're on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM with Leo Lysius.
Yep.
Did I say that correctly? Hey, okay. Hey, Lysius. Okay, there we go. My bad. Yep. One of the things that I like to ask creatives who've been doing this for a long time, and we started around a similar time. And I always tell like other creatives who may be a little bit younger than me, but like I tell them there was two internets, the internet before 2014 and then the internet that's now of what the internet is now. Like, and I remember like around like 2015, 16 feeling burnout because I did so much on social media that by the time the 2014 switch, when it became the real internet, because if you Google a lot of stuff that I was doing, you can't even find it before 2014. How did you get over that hump? Because you said you started in 2010. How did you get over that hump to be able to still be a content worthy site? Because now you have to post on the internet as a business, whereas we was posting candles and, little stuff for our businesses back then. So how did you manage to get over that hump and to know how to take the blog era and turn it into a music site?
You know what? That's a very interesting point that you made because I never thought about the whole switch in time. If I had to pinpoint a switch in time for me was like maybe, because I feel like there was a switch in time. I don't know if it was particularly 2014, 2015 for me, although I do remember 2014 and 2015 being a very pivotal point.
That's when you started seeing more social influencers. That's what I mean about the 2014 switch. Like you started seeing more people making money from the internet.
Okay. So around 2014, because I do remember a lot of the times, particularly around 2014 was a very, very, very special year for us. And I don't know if it was really so much a social media shift, but I could say coverage-wise, that was a special year because Bobby Shmurda, who I have to always give credit to when it comes to the brand, because he was like one of our biggest interviews to date. This is literally before he got locked up in December of 2014. October of 2014, we did him at Powerhouse. It was the first time we met Bobby Shmurda and GS9 backstage at Powerhouse in Migos' dressing room. And Lord knows what it took to get that interview. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I say this to say, here you had this 19-year-old young kid fresh off the streets of East Flatbush, Brooklyn, who was just new to this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? But you've seen his excitement in the moment. Fresh off of Hot Nigga, top 10 Billboard chart topping song, just signed to Epic Records that summer. But, he was knee deep in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So everything caught up to him, you know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, what happened. Obviously, Bobby and everyone is out now and they're living their best life. As we can see, Bobby's now enjoying the social media phase that he kind of missed a lot of while he was gone for the past 6-7 years. He was locked up. But it was a moment in time because it showed us that, wow, we're now in a space where like Black media is covering, our people and people are taking notice now. You know what I'm saying? After that interview, the numbers went up to like, I don't even know where they're at no more, but I know they're over definitely 200,000 on YouTube alone. And it just showed that was the moment in time where I realized that, okay, cool. You've created a monster. Like you can't quit no matter what's happening, whether it's financially, whatever is stressing you out, just figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because people would always tell me like, Leo, media in this day and space, having a media platform is so vital.
Yeah.
You cannot figure it out, bro. You can't give it up. You can't. People try to get me to sell the company over the years. People try to tell me to like, well, you can still have control, but give it to someone else. But I was always like, you know what, this is something that's near and dear to me. If I let it go and to start from scratch and doing something else, it's not easy. And anyone knows entrepreneurship is something like, you put work in day in and day out. So I was like, you know what, let me just
Keep going.
Let me woosah, figure it out. And I
Yeah.
got people that's depending on me every day to like keep the ship going. So I can't be selfish and just let it go. And I just kept it going. I just figured it out. Like my team would change, sometimes over the years, but the core and people that really care about the brand and the vision have always remained loyal and have always, had my back throughout the years.
I hear that. Yeah, we're on in the Creative Corner on Creating Hustle with the founder of MusicXclusive. And the last question I have for you is, one thing I like to discuss is elevation, because having a long-term brand, like I've been doing my network since 2016, and I was doing work on it before that, before I even called it a network. Mm-hmm. But just learning how to take it to the next level and then the next level. So I even just came off an eight-week break because I just needed to figure out okay, I've been doing the same thing for a while. It's time to take it to the next level. So where are you at right now with your brand? And what is a vision of what the next level would be?
Good question. Well, right now, we're in a space right now where we're getting ready to close on a new partnership that can potentially take the company to the next level. Things that we've been trying to tackle for years that we haven't gotten around to will now be provided through brand deals and partnerships and monetary revenue and investments. So we have, everything is still in motion right now, but this summer is going to be a lot of new changes. We have a lot of new initiatives that I'm bringing to fruition. I want to start doing acoustic sessions, something I've been passionate about for years. You've seen the blogs that do them over the years, Tiny Desk and this is R&B.
Bring those back.
Yeah, especially after quarantine, they were doing a lot of those kind of things, in studio performances. So I want to do that. I really want to tap into the R&B bag again and get a lot of the new artists. Even with the Terrell show, I love what
I do. I love that platform, and I think he did a great job at building that on his own. I think he did a great job doing that.
Yes, I agree. So I want to maybe I'll probably be doing a lot of that stuff maybe in your area of ATL and
yes, please.
A lot of the R&B singers are not in New York anymore, so they're in those days. So I'm gonna have to start building some relationships with a lot of the studios and the musicians down there to make that happen. I'm also gonna do a documentary style day in the life of things. So documentaries are becoming a thing again. Like I said, I was just at the documentary for Little Baby the other day. And my guy Capella Gray, who's a new artist from New York City, just did a 10 episode of new artists. I have a friend of mine who's always been saying Leo, what you need to do is tap into a lot of the new artists that you're working with now.
I've been thinking that same thing as well.
Journey, document their journey now, because you're the one that's putting them on. So that way they remember who they started with, and they'll always remember you because you were there from the get-go.
Exactly.
So I'm going to be doing that, but more so not just artists, but the people behind the scenes, the songwriters, the producers, the publicists, the A&Rs, the managers, because they don't get enough flowers and shine. So I got one, excuse my voice. I've lost my voice the whole weekend. My voice is so much.
Fun times in Summer Jam.
Summer Jam is crazy. But I'm going to be doing a documentary style, day in the life kind of segment on MusicXclusives on, people, the people behind the music. And then what else we got going on? I got the podcast coming back, MusicXclusives podcast season 2 is.
But you're doing a great job on. You're doing a great job on that. Yeah.
But this time we're going to be talking some shit. We're going to be talking a lot of shit. One of the things I want to address, and I've been talking to my team about it, is how Black media gets treated in this space these days. Jason Lee has made it very a point, how we get treated on red carpets, dealing with white publicists, and just overall the mistreatment of Black media. You know what I'm saying? Nori made a very interesting point the other day on Twitter. A lot of the artists will go to the Ellens and the David Lettermans, but they don't want to come sit at the Drink Champs. You don't want to come sit at Joe Biden's podcast. You don't want to go do, so on and so forth. Why? And we're the one that's the pulse of the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Come talk to your people. I mean, no offense to them, do them also, but make sure that your publicists include these outlets in your press runs as well. So it's a lot that we want to address. I want to definitely be someone who be a little bit more vocal. A lot of people said over the years, I've kind of been hiding. They know who I am and I've built my name, and people, I got the notoriety, but I feel like I've been kind of like in the background a lot and a little bit too modest, if you will.
Right,
So
right. Same.
A little bit, yeah.
Same.
I'm just humble like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm timid. I don't feel like I need to like do too much. You know what I'm saying? I just do the work and everything else will pan out, and work itself out. But yeah, so those are some of the new things that I'm working on. It's all about brand building from now on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first right here on Create and Hustle. Leo, let the people know where they can find you on socials.
Yes. They can find me at MusicXclusives.com. Also, I have a photography website, imagesbyleo.com. And both of them are on social media is Music Exclusives, MusicXclusives on Instagram, Twitter, wherever. And my personal page is Images by Leo on Instagram.
All right, folks, you heard it first right here on Create and Hustle. We like to ask creators, how did you take your idea and turn it into a business? Leo, thank you for joining me, and we will talk soon.
Thank you, my guy Mush. Appreciate you.
No doubt.
So like I said, friends, it's just really cool to talk to somebody who has been doing things as long as you, and also who has been watching your progress over time, because a lot of times people don't see us for the skills that we have. We just keep grinding, and sometimes we don't pay attention to the flowers when people are throwing them at us. So shout out to Leo and everything that he's doing. Check out Music Exclusives, the website, like big things over there. Check him out on YouTube because he has the exclusive interviews with all the up and coming artists and some of your favorite artists as well. Like he said, he just covered Summer Jam. So if you know what Summer Jam is for Hot 97 in New York City, that is a huge event. So he took his idea and his love for music and turned it into a business. And that's what we do here each and every week right here on Create and Hustle. I'm your host, Mush King, and I can't hold you too long. It's time for me to get up out of here. I know it's early in the morning when you're listening to this on the radio, but be sure to catch us on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. CWF Network is where you can find it. That's my podcast network for those who don't know. You can catch me on socials at mushking _ is where you can find me. And yeah, just keep checking us out, because each and every week we will bring people here to teach you how to take your ideas to a business so that, maybe one day you can pop on here and talk about what you got going on. So be sure to catch me each and every Thursday, 5:30 a.m. right here on ESPN Richmond 106.1. I am your host, Mush King. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next week. Later.